Emma Goldman crossed 3 seas to reach the promised land. In 1885, the feisty 16-year-old Russian girl had just escaped an arranged marriage by threatening to drown herself in the Neva River. America, she hoped, would be her salvation.
A land of hope, a land of opportunity, a land of infinite possibility. When you come into this country, all things are possible for you. All things are possible. You can forget the past, you can have a brave new world.
And for a radical like Emma Goldman, a revolutionary like Emma Goldman, the volatility of this country seemed like a great opportunity for creating a genuinely new world, for creating whatever was going to come after capitalism. And I think that she entered this world, as did many of sort of politicized people, political radicals, coming here feeling that this was the place where the revolution could be born.
It was the 15th of August, the day of my arrival in New York City. All that had happened in my life until that time was now left behind me, cast off like a worn-out garment. I was 20 years old. My entire possessions consisted of $5 and a sewing machine. I had no friends, but I carried the address of Die Freiheit, an anarchist newspaper.
Soon, the German anarchist Johann Most entered Goldman's life. Most would become her mentor and her idol. An advocate of insurrection and revolutionary violence, Johann Most had a large and devoted following within the American anarchist movement. As a group, American anarchists were idealistic, articulate, and organized. Though few in number, they had surprising influence.
It was an enormously powerful, well-directed movement. They talked about equality of everyone, regardless of race and sex. They talked about the free production of goods on a cooperative, associative level. They talked about getting rid of the state. And they also talked about the need for education, equal education regardless of who you were. They were astonishing claims in 1883.
In 1886, the anarchist movement captured headlines around the country. Falsely accused of a bombing in Chicago's Haymarket Square, 4 men, all anarchists, were put to death. Their trial and execution became a rallying point for firebrands like Johann Most and galvanized a new generation of radicals. At her first speaking engagement, Goldman panicked. Unable to remember her topic, the campaign for the 8-hour day, she spoke instead of her great ideal, anarchism.
I could sway people with words, words that welled up from within me, from some unfamiliar depth.
To Goldman, anarchism combined an optimistic faith in human nature with an intense distrust of authority. She defined anarchism as a new social order based on liberty and unrestricted by man-made law. In this anarchist world, government would be replaced by a spirit of free cooperation, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs.
That, I think, we have to accept was Goldman's bedrock belief when she moves into anarchism. That's the tradition that she's drawing on. So you've got this ideal, which is the most extreme of all. You can't vote in anarchism. You can't get coalitions with various other groups to get anarchism. Anarchism is the most extreme of all.
Just 24, Goldman was already recognized as a professional agitator. Her talk of insurrection, of doing without government, of encouraging the unemployed to take matters into their own hands, of thousands of workers going door to door demanding food, was terrifying to authorities. She was arrested and charged with inciting to riot.
Anarchism is an immensely exciting, poetic, intoxicating, fantastical idea, and so of course she scared the shit out of people. I mean, you know, and she intended to.
In May 1901, Goldman gave a lecture entitled "The Modern Phase of Anarchy," an incendiary talk on political assassination and the glory of martyrdom. Leon Czolgosz, a young would-be anarchist, sat in the audience listening attentively. 4 months later, at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, Czolgosz worked his way through the crowd and shot President William McKinley twice in the chest at point-blank range.
Czolgosz told the authorities that Emma Goldman had set him on fire when he went to hear her speak. And this immediately led to a condemnation of Goldman throughout the country. She was actually in danger of her life, and it led to the arrest of any anarchist or any perceived radical the police could get their hands on.
Goldman was arrested and interrogated. After the death of McKinley, and after authorities failed to turn up evidence connecting her to the assassination, she was released. To the horror of a grief-stricken public, she threw herself into an impassioned defense of Leon Czolgosz.
As an anarchist, I am opposed to violence. But if people want to do away with assassins, they must first do away with the conditions which produce murderers.
In a speech to Congress, the new president, Theodore Roosevelt, declared, "The anarchist is the enemy of humanity, the enemy of all mankind." Goldman was vilified. Many labor unions distanced themselves from the anarchists to safeguard the modest successes they'd won over the years.